Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Influencer Interviews and Insights with Rooster Hat and Takes. My name's Matt. I'm here with Jason and Cam. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How's it going?
Not as good as you, apparently. Look at you. Just is this what we can expect? A new look each week?
Every week, I'm got to switch it up. Keep it fresh.
That's beautiful. Cam, how we doing?
I'm doing good, and summer has finally hit the UK, so I've been enjoying some of the sun, and it's been great compared to the usual rain.
So you've had sun finally.
Yeah, it's been 25 degrees today, the hottest in about a year.
Nice.
See, now you're talking a whole different.
Yeah,
everything's
Celsius.
different. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, well, anywho, guys, we have a great show today. Obviously, as you guys know who our guest is, and we're going to bring her on today. We have yet to have a female on the show, so this is very exciting to talk to her. And just to want to do a couple of quick updates about Next Level. Please go ahead and download the Next Level app, but make sure you join the All Things Wrestling sub app. That is what we have created. So now we do have that specific wrestling community and app. You will never ever see anything other than wrestling if that is what your passion is. So we are super excited at the Next Level, to have the sub app all done, All Things Wrestling, with our amazing content creators who are on there still posting. So make sure you get over there. And speaking of one of our amazing content creators, I'm just going to bring her on right now. We have the one Mona. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Mona.
Thank
Hi.
you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Of course.
So
How
we
are
do
you
have.
doing?
Yeah.
Jason, well, you know what? You're making me feel a little overdressed for this interaction, but I like it. I'm good. How are you all?
I'm good. Been busy. We've been talking a little bit. The kids are driving me crazy. I think like you as well. And we're only 3 weeks into summer, so it's like, oh, good Lord, I need help. I need backup.
I told them, I'm like, don't fight for like 30 minutes, and then you guys
That's
can
it.
fight all you want. Let me
Yeah.
get
That's
this set.
Well, I suppose
That's
I'm the only one here who doesn't have kids then.
Yeah, probably a good thing, Cam, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yes, as you probably heard in the introduction, our first female wrestling influencer / content creator, everything, right? So we are super excited to break that threshold today with you. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So yeah, absolutely. So let's jump right in. Wrestling, right? Jason and I had a conversation earlier because when we talk to other people, it's like wrestling, you used to have to sort of talk to it behind doors. Like it wasn't something that was out there in the open. And that was just from even a male's perspective. Can you just tell us about the female's perspective side of things? Like, is it difficult? Is it tough to talk? How did you even come into wrestling and then that side of it as well?
Well, coming from how I came about wrestling is actually stemmed all the way from my grandfather. He was a big wrestling fan, then got my dad into it, and my dad got me into it. So that's how it all started there. And
Okay.
I mean, I don't have them here anymore with me, but when they were here, we all used to watch it together as a family, and now it's stemming to my children. So it was definitely, something never started new. It happened since I was a child, so I grew up through all the eras. But coming from a woman's perspective, it's definitely it's different. It's different. You do have a lot more that you face than men do. A lot of people, yes, they are very outspoken about women in the industry, but I've noticed that a lot of us in the industry stand very strong and united when it comes to becoming a wrestling fan, especially as a woman. But it definitely also has its benefits to it as well. Is the community is growing, but at the same time, you are very well known because you're strong, you're a woman, you stand up. The wrestling community comes with a lot of territory, comes with a lot of backlash and a lot of support. But no matter what, as a woman, and especially a lot of women in this industry, we definitely continue to strive off that, whether it's positive or negative.
Right. And you can just tell with the rosters, with the women talent, right? How the female side of things just growing, right? And it's so great to see that the women are getting the recognition that they've deserved for a super long time. So, and then you out there helping, which is great, right? So that's exciting. So you were talking about an event that you went to last night. What was last night or last couple? Was there another show too in Detroit? Were you able to make that one or?
So that was the SmackDown after WrestleMania. I went to that one. That one was
Okay.
really good. I think we were all anticipating Roman to return, but we didn't get that. So,
Right.
No,
but
we
this one, yeah, last night was definitely a live show. It was actually in Kalamazoo. So those ones actually sometimes I prefer more because you actually get to interact with the wrestlers. The wrestlers break character. So we went there last night. Let me tell you, it was definitely a lot more than I expected because I got a lot of interactions, which you'll see on the Next Level app, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of wrestlers that actually were like, "Oh, Mona, like well, here you are," and some of them, one of them even told me I was stalking her. So, uh, so, yes, I do. We do like to make as many as we can in the Midwest, especially when it comes to SmackDown Raws or even live shows. And if it's a PLA, we definitely travel for those regardless. But last night was fun, interactive. A lot of people definitely had a good time. I can't wait to post it. It's all going to be on the Next Level app. So I hope you guys are able to catch it there.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. So I've only ever got to experience the house show sort of events, and I am going to another one in October because they never really bring SmackDown and Raw here to where I live in the UK, which is a bit unfortunate. But what would you say is the main difference between a house show and a live show? Is it the interactiveness mainly, would you say?
It's definitely the interactions that you get more, but I do always encourage people when they go to these house shows is speak up, yell at the wrestlers respectfully, get
Yeah.
their attention. They will respond. Majority of them respond. Now, a lot of people tell me no, they don't. Even Solo Sokoa definitely had some words towards me when
Yeah.
I know but I always recommend don't be shy. Obviously, stay respectful, but don't be shy and speak to them. I also recommend if you are ringside, have signs, friendship bracelets. A lot of the WWE PR definitely love to capture moments with fans and interactions with them. So I always recommend go there with a big personality. Wrestlers will love that, and they actually like strive off of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, on the Next Level app, I've seen some of your videos where you were yelling at Solo and Jimmy, and you could tell. I think it was Solo that kind of gave you like a side eye glance. that was awesome. Speaking of Solo, obviously this past week, amazing week for wrestling with the Wyatt Six on Monday Night Raw, Joe Hendry on NXT, and then the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, coming in and just dominating the top three WWE superstars. We know you're a huge Roman fan. What do you think of Jacob Fatu coming in?
It's so funny because when he came, I remember my husband and kids looked at me. They're like, "How big is this family? Like, how many are there?" And I'm like, "They're big." I mean, I love this. Now, I know people. I've always been a Cody fan. We know that he's been good to my family, but Roman definitely to me is the real tribal chief. So with the family growing the way it is, I saw Jacob come. I wasn't expecting him to come at all, actually. It was definitely there was no chatter about it. So when I
Right.
saw him,
Yeah.
I was in shock. I love what WWE is doing. They're building a storyline beyond Roman Reigns, and I know we're all awaiting his return. I do believe Roman Reigns is definitely going to let each and every one of them know who the real tribal chief is. I'm excited. I love it. I know that it's going to continue to get bigger. Who else is going to show up? I don't know, but I hope there's more because this
Right.
is definitely very entertaining. I want to see Roman come back and definitely lay the smackdown for all of them.
Absolutely. I saw Zilla Fatu post a something, I think it was on
Little
Instagram.
cryptic message, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
little cryptic message. So I hope, I don't know, that'd be awesome.
I know.
He's entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, he is. I love it all. I love the storyline. It has me definitely hooked onto the TV.
For sure. So thinking back of all the events that you've gone to, is there something that one event in particular that maybe sticks out to you, or something that you'll never remember, you hold it dear to your heart?
There is one. And, I don't think I've ever spoken about this, but I was going to SummerSlam in Nashville. And when we were going as a group of friends, we took the family, we got there, and then my friends went down to their seats first. We were all aligned on the same row. And she's like, we were still upstairs grabbing some snacks. They said that your seats are not here. And I said, what do you mean my seats are not there? She's like, which ones are your seats? And we were texting back and forth. She goes, they don't exist. They're not here. So before, it was a long way down. So before we went down, we said, hey, we went to guest services. We're told our seats are not here. And so long story short, they said, yeah, the PR came out, WWE PR came out and said, yeah, those are not your seats anymore. We had to remove them, not knowing why. So
Hmm.
we're like, well, you just split us up from our family, from our kids. It was my husband and I, my kids, we put them on the ramp and we were kind of a little bit further down.
Right.
And she came back, she was very straightforward. She goes, you're not sitting there tonight, but here are some new seats. And she goes, this is where you are going to be sitting. They gave me a gift card and they said, you got to use it by tonight. And they said, you know what, when it's the next show at your hometown, please let us know. We'd love to have you. I said, okay. We obviously were complaining, and the whole way down, we went down, and then I realized, oh my gosh, they sat us with all the celebrities. We were next to Dwight Howard, Tennessee Titans, Kid Rock. We
What?
literally were right in that section. And why that event was so unforgettable is because everybody there was just there to have a good time, interacting with high profile people, and Kid Rock being from my hometown, and he was the sweetest person ever. And just being that experience, even though obviously we weren't next to our family and friends, it was still
Mhm.
such an unforgettable night because I got to meet Kid Rock. I got to meet, like I said, the entire Dwight Howard and his family. We were just all joking and laughing about things. So that event in particular was definitely really good. So I definitely give WWE a lot of credit. Thank you so much for taking care of us that evening. But it was unforgettable because of the people we were surrounded by. And
Right.
I was like, wow, I feel like a celebrity. Let me not be as crazy as I usually am on the sidelines. I was like, you gotta live up
Right.
to
You
the
had
celebrity
to pull
stuff.
back a little bit, with the people around you.
Yeah, and I remember Derrick Henry, who was the running back for the Tennessee Titans, he had his own security and they're like, nobody can come near him. And then I was talking to Taylor Lewan, he's from Michigan, he played for them. He's
Yep.
like, I was like, okay, what's going on? And he goes, well, they don't ever want him to catch any type of like COVID or flu or anything. So no one's allowed near him because he's that precious to the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
So that whole experience to us is something I will never forget. It was great.
That's pretty amazing. Is he as big in real life as he looks on TV? God, he's a massive individual.
Massive, very straight face. Like I was intimidated by him. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. I was like, he was very big, very straightforward. But hey, everybody, you would think all these big guys are just gonna sit there and just stare. They were leaning over, trying to interact with everyone. Now, mind you, Pat McAfee was in front of them, so Pat McAfee recognized all of them. It was like a welcome home party right in front of me.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah,
Um,
so you obviously went to SummerSlam in Nashville. What do you make of it going to 2 nights from 2026?
Look, I know Triple H knows what he's doing. I'm not, I don't really second guess his work, but when they said 2 nights, I was like, okay, how are we going to make this 2 nights? Because, SummerSlam is definitely a great event. I can see, I mean, are they just going to obviously they're going to make more matches. Are they going to keep this as entertaining as WrestleMania? I do believe Triple H has a plan for that. I got to see it to believe it. I don't, they're
I mean,
not
I must say, as someone who watches from England, I think it's a good thing because SummerSlam 2023 was on till 6 a.m. here, and by the end of it was Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I could not be bothered. I'd lost all interest. I wanted to go to sleep. So if it means, because for WrestleMania, bringing it to 2 nights has really helped us international fans because it ends at like 4 rather than 7.
Yeah.
So it is a welcome change for us, at least, if it does mean it's going to be a little bit shorter than usual.
Did you feel that SummerSlam was too long the past few years?
Especially this year, yeah. I mean, the first 2 matches, I think it was Logan Ricochet and Cody Brock. I really enjoyed them, but after that, I was like, I'm zoned out. I feel like I need to sleep. And I mean, even for like Raw and SmackDown, it's tough, but we have to put up with it. But yeah, I think SummerSlam maybe 3 or 4 hours maximum, I would say.
Yeah, I agree, and I think one thing that they want to avoid is being too long, because other promotions out there have been very long. There
Yeah.
have been 5-6 hour PLEs, and they're exhausting. You need, coming from a
Yeah.
content creator or anybody just going in general. I mean, I went to an event, it was 2.5 hours yesterday, and I was done. I was like, by hour
Yeah.
2, I was like, I want to go home. So I get it.
So I just seen that in 2025, Indianapolis taking over the big PLEs, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and WrestleMania. What do you think about that? That's pretty close to us, so we don't have to travel that far if we're gonna go.
That's what was my number one thing. I'm like, those are my neighbors. Like, it's just a
Right.
hop away. I was definitely very excited that it's still in the Midwest. It's close to home. But the number one reason why I'm so happy, and I'm sorry, Cameron, it's staying in America. It's not
Yeah.
going outside. I know we've been losing a lot of PLEs, and understandably so. And I'm glad it's going global. That's the whole point of the World Wrestling Entertainment business. But I'm definitely very excited to see it stay not only close to Midwest. I'm being selfish here, I'm sorry, but
Right.
it's also staying in America, because I definitely have been hearing chatter. John Cena has spoken about maybe taking Mania to London. So I'm definitely still happy to see it still here. And it's going to kind of make other companies want to say, hey, well, let's make a big deal in our city to bring a lot of money and business to the cities and the country. So I'm definitely very happy to still see those three, especially staying here for now.
Yeah, I'm the opposite, and again, it's just from an English perspective. I do think it's about time. I mean, every time they go to the UK and Europe in general, the crowds are so up for it because we very rarely get to see it. So I think it's about time. Maybe not WrestleMania. I understand keeping that in the US and Canada. I can understand that completely. But I think it's about time we got a Royal Rumble or a SummerSlam maybe. But again, the weather could be an issue for that because you don't have well, our weather's terrible, as I always say each week on this podcast. So that could be a problem with the outdoor arenas.
So is it so the Royal Rumble's there in 2025, but the other we don't know when
We don't.
we don't know the years or dates of the okay, that's what I was thinking.
But they said they were going to give him 2-night SummerSlam there as well. Now, aside from being selfish, when it goes international, I am hooked onto those because of the crowd, because they haven't really seen anything like that. And people always say, oh, look, America can never do this. Well, we get Raw and SmackDown, NXT every week. We get PLEs. We definitely are not going to be as hype as international crowds, but international crowds definitely get you hooked on. So I'm still happy to see it go international, but selfish and happy those are here.
Well, you make a good point, right? Like for them, that's like let's say their Super Bowl. We get to see the regular season all year here in America with SmackDown and Raw, and then when we do get the PLAs, it's a big deal. But understandably so over there in UK. So I get what you're saying, Cam. And the crowds are fun. They definitely are into it nonstop. So that is exciting.
Yeah.
So.
I mean,
Jason.
I am scared if they did bring Mania here, how much it would cost, because Clash, they price people out of that completely. And I'm just worried if they did bring WrestleMania, I think the prices would be double of what Mania is in America, because they know people don't get to see it, so they can charge what they want and they'll still probably sell it out. A good business perspective, but it's not good for the average person, I suppose.
Yeah, they are priced on it. Like we were looking SummerSlam this year, actually, like the tickets to go are just absolutely ridiculous already. So I can only imagine what they're going to do if they did that, right? If they put something over. So, all right. So moving on here, we always talk about this with all of our content creators. What's your Mount Rushmore of wrestler? Who do you got on your Mount Rushmore?
Oh, okay.
Hard question.
Yeah,
it's a hard question.
It is.
Absolutely.
But, man. All right. I don't know if people are gonna agree with me, but I'm gonna go with Stone Cold. That's very obvious. I gotta do Scott Hall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I do Scott Hall, Hulk Hogan, and wow, who am I gonna pick as my last one here? This one's really hard. I'm gonna put Roman on it.
Roman.
Wow.
Nice.
I know it's a reach, but you know what? He carried this company through the pandemic era.
Yep.
You can't tell me he didn't. 4 years of being a champion. I mean, look at everybody. Every Friday we want Roman. He's definitely the face of the company, and he carried that company on its back even through the roughest times that we all faced. So that's
Yeah.
my
Oh,
mama.
The one thing I
that's
think
not
that,
reach at all.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
The one thing I do think does hurt Roman is that he didn't succeed as a face, whereas most of the all-timers did it, like Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, one of the best heels of all time, but then the All-American was one of the best faces of all time. But I think that will change in the next few months when Roman returns. I think this face run's going to be legendary. I think I'm really looking forward to it personally.
A baby
Scott Hall's
face.
Scott
Yeah.
Hall's a first though. We haven't heard his name. He's come up in conversation, but not on anyone's mount. So that's
I love that. I love it.
I know. I said, he's somebody I think he was very underrated back
Yes.
then. I do believe he brought a lot of entertainment, toothpick in the mouth, everything. Just everything is just, to me, I was hooked when I was younger, so I put him on there.
Yes, Scott Hall is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
I loved him, and it's such a shame that he never got a world championship run because he would have made a great world champion. He was a great IC champion, but his presence and just his machismo, like the way
His
he
little
carried
curl.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I loved him. He was such a awesome wrestler in the ring, and then the NWO. I mean, what gets more iconic than
that was
being the part of that, starting it up. I love that you put Scott Hall in there. That's great stuff right there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't old enough to have witnessed Scott Hall at all, so I can't comment on that. But
we're all showing our age here.
Yes,
right.
we are.
Yeah.
But looking at your Mount Rushmore, there's a few people from a few different eras. So obviously, you've witnessed quite a few. Which would you say is the best era? Is it this current one with Roman in charge, or one of the old eras?
Older eras, especially during the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era,
Yeah.
all those. That, listen, nothing will top that. Nothing will. The arguments between both companies, and here's the thing. Back then, you could get away with that. Now, with today's society, everyone's gonna say you crossed the line. 1, 2, 3. Back then, it was just more, let's just enjoy wrestling. Now it's, did you see what this person said, or did you see what So back then, it was more carefree, more enjoyable to watch. You didn't get much backlash like you do now. So I would say the Attitude Era was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I remember happened, on the TV remote, it had like the go to the previous channel.
Yeah.
And whenever commercial come on, I'd be hitting that button and going to
Right.
WCW, and then, like odds, Raw's cooking a little bit more. I'd go back to Raw before the WCW commercial came on, and that was really enjoyable to me because it was the Monday Night Wars is iconic, and it was so good. Yeah, I would have to agree with you. That was probably the best era as of now. What they're doing now, I mean, it's
Want to
cooking.
touch on that? Nothing got spoiled back then. Social media now.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Except for Mick Foley winning the title.
Except for Mick Foley. Aside from that, when one person went from one company to another, you never knew.
Yeah.
So
especially with NWO and all their 80 members, which old WWF star is gonna join today?
It was like the next day they showed up and nobody even knew. Oh my god, it was such a good time.
Again, like showing my age, I couldn't witness all that era. I wasn't even alive during the Attitude Era. But as a younger viewer, I think the current era for me is the best I've ever witnessed, 100%. Paul Heyman, I think, so underrated. I really enjoyed everything he did on Friday Night SmackDown with CM Punk Take Me Back, to nearly crying when he heard that Roman Reigns is never coming back. I just can't wait for Roman Reigns to come and save Paul Heyman from Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, the "Take Me With You" line.
That was funny.
He's fed up. He's like, I need to get out of this.
Yeah, the bloodline's a mess. I don't blame him for trying to get out of that right now.
Yeah.
So you brought up social media and spoiling things, but let's talk a little bit about that. Like we ask all of our influencers on here, what's some advice that you could give somebody like trying to make it in the social media world, or just to further their experience on social media? What's some good advice you would give them?
Definitely never second guess yourself. Post your authentic self, even if you think it's weird or cringe worthy, as they say. Continue to post, be authentic to yourself. Always find something that just fits you, stick with it, and continue to go. Even if you feel like it's not working, it will stick. So when I first started, I realized, okay, I was like, people are gonna think I'm weird. I said, but why? This is me though. So it's like every day I'm posting authentic content out there. So anybody that's looking to start, definitely continue to find something that's your, like, how do they say it? I would say like that's just what's who you are. Don't change who you are. Post what you like, post your thoughts, any comments you have about wrestling, whether people agree with or not, continue to do so and it will definitely stick. You'll find your target audience, but always remember you can't please everyone in wrestling.
That's a fact. Everyone's going to have an opinion, and they're going to be different.
I witnessed that firsthand last Saturday at Clash at the Castle with my reaction to CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre. My comments were wild. I don't think I can even say it out loud on this podcast. Some people, I mean, I did go too far in my rant. I did go too far. I'm gonna admit that. But I really enjoyed that. Looking back, it was brilliant storytelling. At the time, I hated it, but right now, I can look back and say it was good.
It was good, and even with my solo interaction, everybody was like, your voice is so annoying. And I'm like, you want to know what that voice does? The next time I see Solo, I'm going to use that same tone. And he's going to be like, oh, that's that crazy girl. That's that one that won't stop yelling. So it's like, stick to it. Don't let the people in the comment section ever discourage you from posting how you feel about wrestling.
Well, that's a good thing about wrestling too, though, is everybody does have opinions, and everybody's opinion also matters. If you might not think it's right or wrong, but with wrestling, that's what makes it so awesome is you don't have to be right or wrong. It's if you like this person, you like them. I might not like them, but it's cool to see your dedication or how you're a fan to that person. And that's what I think makes wrestling great is you can talk about it, you can argue about it, you can give your opinion. And it's okay, and everyone's opinion is going to be different, and then you can have some debates. Like that's what makes wrestling so awesome.
Right.
Agreed, 100%.
All right, there's a few more things before we wrap this up. What's something that the world doesn't know about Mona that you could share? This one thing that what doesn't the world or social media know about Mona that you could share with us and be comfortable sharing?
Okay. This is not wrestling related. Well, I mean, this is the person that comes to my mind. I'm half blind.
Really?
There you go. Yes. Nobody knows that about me. I have a damaged nerve behind this eye and I struggle to see from it.
Oh man.
Wow.
Okay.
That's something you asked me, something nobody knows. I mean,
that would be that definitely hit it. That I don't think too many people would know that who aren't too close to you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you would never know. I have it I figured it out. It's happened since I was 16 years old, but I do struggle to see out of my left eye.
Okay. All right. That is. All right. Well,
yeah,
do you have
I
any?
shocked you all.
You did a little bit, right? Like you left me speechless, and that doesn't happen often, to be honest with you.
Yeah, when I run into people and sometimes I don't see them, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like,
right.
I can't see.
Well, there you go. It wasn't you were being mean or anything. You didn't see them.
So if I run into you guys, sorry, on my left side, I'm sorry in advance.
Well, okay. Anything exciting coming up that you got going on? Any events that you're attending or anything exciting or any new news in your life?
I don't think I ever said or announced that I will be at Money in the Bank working the media box. So I will not be ringside, but I will be up in the media box, and I hope to ask Triple H a couple of questions at the presser. So exciting things. I will be at Money in the Bank. I hope to actually be at Raw, I think in a couple weeks. If I can find some good tickets, I'll be there. Those are, if you're wrestling related, that's what's going on. So I hope. Yeah, so I will be at Money in the Bank. So I'm really excited to go to Toronto.
That is exciting.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
We'll definitely be looking for you during the presser.
I hope to get a question, and I'm definitely gonna raise my hand really high as fast as I can and be like, Braxton, over
absolutely here. Get your hand up real quick.
I'm just gonna talk to him real quick as I'm walking in because they're pretty strict, hurry up and sit down type of thing. But I'm just like, Braxton, me first.
right here, over here.
Yeah,
So,
over here.
well, hopefully that works out. Yeah, we'll definitely be watching the presser to see if you get on there. That's exciting. So,
I hope so. Yes, it's very exciting. I'm excited to be there. I didn't really formally announce it, to be honest with you. I've kind of hinted at it, but I figured I'd announce it that I will be at Money in the Bank.
well, there you go.
Thank you for announcing it first here.
Yeah,
Right, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Right, we'll make sure we get that little plug out here in the next couple days. So,
I appreciate it.
absolutely. All right, Mona. Well, thank you so very much for taking some time out of your schedule. I know your time's valuable, but we absolutely appreciate you jumping on our show with us, and we hope to have you on again soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
See ya.